Welcome to Poeto Beach in Cagliari, Italy. Here in Poeto, from the 6th to the 10th of October 2021, the elite of the international kiteboarding scene gathered to compete in the third stop of the 2021 KiteFoil World Series. Cagliari has been a favourite location for the World Series organisers, with the riders enjoying every minute spent in this great venue that offers so much. It's the Globe-Trotting Tour's 4th edition staged off Cagliari's Poeto Beach on the peerless Gulf of Angels. Cagliari is the capital of the magnificent island of Sardinia, an autonomous region of Italy, and has always been an ideal location for water sports such as surfing, kitesurfing, windsurfing and sailing due to strong, reliable and always favourable winds. Key sponsors, the Sardinian region and the city of Cagliari, seized on international kitefoil racing over the iconic waters as a perfect vehicle to showcase the Mediterranean island. Moreover, it boosts the great effort made over the years by local authorities to transform the region into a sports destination for everyone.
Isola dello sport, il turismo sportivo. Io rappresento il turismo, il mio collega presidente del CONI, lo sport. Insieme per vincere e portare la Sardegna nel mondo.
Sport e turismo credo che siano due cose che devono camminare insieme. Sono la forza di quest'isola. Noi abbiamo veramente tutto per poter competere ai livelli internazionali e grazie all'assessorato del turismo, che è molto sensibile, noi speriamo che lo sport possa continuare a crescere.
The city, though, is much more than just a sporting venue. Its wonderful roads and city centre is reminiscent of a bygone era. It's the region's cultural, educational, political and artistic centre. Visitors to Cagliari can find numerous monuments and libraries of great interest and have the chance to combine unique sightseeing with sports tourism. The highest level support from Sardinian authorities, eager to project the island onto the world stage, set the course for 4 days of intense competition. Even before the beginning of the event, it was clear amongst the competitors, having spent a lot of time competing here over the years, that they were looking forward to action in this place that means so much to so many.
It's a really nice place. Every time we come here we have good wind. The Mistral wind is pretty hard, I would say, but we know what to expect when you come here, and that's one of the reasons we're racing here also, is to race in strong wind. It's a lovely place.
I love Poeto, and that's why I live down there. I moved for the winter with my family, so I love this place. Not just because it's so great, it's so warm and so nice, but because it's a great place for kiteboarding. We did a lot of training last year here. We improved a lot, so we try to repeat and spend our time over here. We're ready to battle here in Poeto, but mostly focusing already on the Worlds next week. One of the great things about this place is, beside the nice weather all year round, is the variety of conditions. People know Cagliari mostly for this offshore condition, which happens quite a bit. But it's not the only wind we have. We have side shore, we have onshore, we have choppy waves. So we believe it's a good variety of conditions. So helps a lot improving skills in all conditions.
42 athletes, 29 men and 13 women from 19 countries and 5 continents, vied for a share of the €25,000 prize pot in the World Series Cagliari, the third of 5 scheduled acts. The winnings are split equally between the men and women, racing together in one fleet. This globe-trotting tour is an unrivaled opportunity to hone skills and improve times against the best in the world. The goal is bagging coveted qualifying spots for the Paris 2024 Games, where kiteboarding will make its Olympic debut. The third stop of the World Series was significant, as it was held just a few days before the 2021 IKA Formula Kite World Championships, also taking place in Italy at Torre Grande. Even though many thought that the top athletes would skip this event to rest ahead of the Worlds, many of them decided to join, finding it the perfect opportunity to test their limits once again.
And in the end, actually, we've got the majority of the top 10 here. I think we're only missing maybe 2 or 3 people from the European top 10, and which means it's great training. So I mean, all we've been doing in Torre Grande is going around a race course, and here we can go around a race course and make it a little bit more formal. So yeah, I think so many of the top guys are here that we're all going into it in the same place, and hopefully be able to make through another week of racing in one piece.
I think competing here gives me a really good training to warm up for the World Championship and to get me in that race mode. And yeah, that's why I decided to compete here. Yeah, I know some guys didn't want to compete here because they think it's going to tire them, so and they focus on the Worlds. That's also a reasonable tactic, but I more like to be in the game and like super focused when I get to my next competition.
I decided to compete here in Cagliari because I engaged myself on the KiteFoil World Series, the whole tour, so I did all the stops for the moment, and this was one of the most important ones, so I decided to come here. And I think for myself it's a great opportunity to just set up everything, fine-tune my gear, fine-tune my mindset and be ready for next week, where some others decided to stay on the event site and train there. But I would rather do an event, having my mind set on the racing, and yeah, be somewhere different than just staying on the same place and training and getting the pressure increased.
The first day of action off Poeto's Beach acted as an early indication that this event was important for all and will certainly be one to remember. In the gusty and shifting Mistral breezes, hitting 33 knots off Cagliari's coast on the Italian resort island of Sardinia, the leading men and women racing in one fleet traded bullets and overall leads. With searingly quick racing, Britain's Conor Bainbridge did enough to take the lead, with 2 bullets and a second place in the opening day's 5 races on the stunning Gulf of Angels. He saw off challenges from the French trio of Axel Mazzella, Theo Daramcourt and Benoit Gomez. As for the women, after a rocky start, being late for the day's opening 2 races due to indecision over her kite size, Formula Kite European champion Poema Newland managed to top the women's standings, ahead of her countrywomen Jessie Campman and Lorian Nolo, who were lying just behind in the table.
Today we had 5 races in really challenging conditions because the wind was really strong and really gusty, so it was really hard to race in those conditions. I'm happy and not happy about what I did. I just missed the first 2 starts, so yeah, I could be faster to prepare my stuff, and then yeah, I just fight a lot on the 3 last one. So yeah, I'm happy about what I did, and my goal was to finish the race without crashing and without hurting myself. So I'm happy.
The second day of racing saw France's Axel Mazzella and Russia's Denis Taradin engage in an absorbing battle full of drama off the Italian island. The riders traded bullets over the day's 5 races, but nothing better illustrated the intensity of the duels between the pair than the day's final climactic race. Taradin's superior angle and speed upwind saw him lead around the weather mark on both laps of the windward-leeward course, only for Mazzella to overhaul his rival on the downwind legs with his faster pace. The intense pressure on Taradin forced him into an error, enabling the Frenchman to overtake his rival and land another bullet. Taradin moved 3 places up the standings to 2nd overall, while Mazzella climbed to the top of the order.
The racing was really tactical, so you really need to look out where to go left, go right. Me and Axel were really close together in the last 2 races, kind of match racing together. I had him in the 4th race, just on the bottom gate. Unfortunately, small mistakes can cost you a place, so in the last race I made a mistake and he overtook me and I finished 2nd, he finished 1st, but still great, 2 more days of racing.
France's Poema Newland retained her overnight lead in the women's fleet, racing side by side with the men. But by her own admission, she was off the pace and saw countrywoman Lorian Nolo closing the gap on her, with assured racing in the lighter conditions. Days of relentless action like these prove that the future of the sport is guaranteed to be amazing. Kiteboarding is now on its first Olympic cycle ahead of its induction at the 2024 Paris Olympics, where ambitious riders are sure to shine, with such events expanding the field of participants. The great equipment makes racing performances even better, a huge asset for the sport.
The performance is, because it's very light and it's a quite big sail area of 21-25 square meters. To propel just one competitor. So the power to weight ratio is very good, and that makes them with very little effort and on low wind speeds go very fast.
In Cagliari's stop of the World Series, there was a number of competitors that travelled from far-flung countries to enjoy racing at its very best. Appearing at the World Series is Argentinian rider Maria Catalina Torienzo, and at the age of only 15 years old, she seems to be destined for great things in the sport.
I know that it's an important competition and I want to start by something, and it's my first competition, so I want to know how it is and how people race and the environment of competitions. It's far away from my home and it's exciting, and well, it's difficult to come here to Europe because it's far away, but well, I'm trying to keep it easy and have a good time.
The Olympic induction of the sport has made all participants eager for the opportunity to become an Olympian, and the Argentinian teenager didn't hide her ambitions.
I want to go to the Olympics, Paris 2024, and see what happens, like the pathway to get there.
Another young athlete with Olympic aspirations is Jean de Falbert from Mauritius, Africa. He has already represented his country magnificently, winning the African Championship. But the sky is the limit for his goals, and he has his sights set on the Olympics. His participation in Cagliari's stop was a chance to compete against the very best and perfect his technique.
Obviously, Mauritius is an awesome place to kitesurf. We've got beautiful lagoons, steady winds. I mean, for foiling, it's just perfect. Unfortunately, the kite foiling scene, especially the racing, is pretty small on the island. We're only a few kite foilers around, so it's hard to get good challenge and good competition. That's why I travel all the way to Europe, Sardinia, places like these where I can come and
challenge myself and see where the level is at in Europe and get some good racing and proper training in. Here I am now in Cagliari doing the KiteFoil World Series, and my plan for the next 3 years is to represent Mauritius at the Olympic Games of Paris 2024 and hopefully bring a medal home.
Of the competitors that travelled a long way to Cagliari, the most unique of storylines belongs to Justina Kitchen from New Zealand. She is a mother of 2, but finds time to follow her passion. With a long water sports background, she has managed to find a balance between being a great mother and an ambitious rider eyeing the Olympics.
Came from boats. I started sailing Optimus when I was 11 years old. And yeah, then when I was 15, I learned to sail RSX, and I did an RSX Olympic campaign for 7 years. And then in 2012, when kiting became Olympic for a very short time, I learned to kite, and I came to actually the 2012 Kite World Champs here in Cagliari at that time. Yeah, and then after it wasn't Olympic anymore, I went to university, got married, had a family, did something else for a few years, and then yeah, just for fun, started kite foiling, and then realized that the racing was really similar, and yeah, came back to racing and have been loving it ever since. So I'm doing an Olympic campaign. I think when the children are really young, it's hard, but now my kids are older, they're 4 and 6, and so they're at school. And so I drop them off at school at 8:30, and then I train and pick them up at 3 o'clock. So there's actually a lot of hours in the day for training. And so yeah, while they're at school, that's when I do all my training. And yeah, it actually works out really well. So I'm lucky that I can have the opportunity to do racing and training and still be a mum as well.
Her father, Rex Sellers, won an Olympic gold medal back in 1984, and she dreams of emulating his success. Even if she doesn't make it, there is still a chance to help guide someone else to glory, as she is also a coach for under-18 riders.
I find coaching and racing as well actually really, really good for my own racing. Often you see a mistake that some youth are making, and you talk to them about what they should be doing, but you sometimes make the same mistake as well, so you realize probably faster how everything works. And also I started coaching the youth maybe 2 years ago, the youth men, when they were 15 and 16, and now they're 17 and 18, and they're actually starting to get faster than me and overtake me in racing. So now we have really, really good battles because I have to be smarter and they are faster. So it's actually the best thing for my own racing, because you teach someone all your tricks and then they use them against you. But no, it's been really, really good coaching and racing.
So now let's get back to the action. On the penultimate of 4 days of spectacular racing on the strikingly beautiful Gulf of Angels, Connor Bainbridge's performances throughout the day's 4 races was enough to move him up to 2nd place overall. Still, despite the turmoil on the leaderboard below him, Axel Mazzella was an island of calm precision, as he retained and extended his overall lead with 2 bullets and 2 seconds, hunting down the top spot and a share of the €25,000 prize pot.
So we started off with some lighter breeze. The sea breeze came through around 3 o'clock, and we started off on 21-meter kites, and actually it picked up more than we expected, and by race 3 we were running 15 meters, which I don't think anyone was really expecting. I think everyone was expecting a kind of a 21-meter kind of bit of a pumpy day. And then yeah, last race, the sea breeze started to disappear as the clouds came over, and we were left with some seriously light, tricky conditions, with almost no wind at the windward mark. Unfortunately, my last race didn't quite go as planned and almost went swimming, but yeah, overall it was a good day, some good races done, and I think we were lucky to get 4 races done considering the forecast.
The racing among the women, competing in one fleet with the men, was even more turbulent. With 2 high-placed finishes, France's Lorient Nolo moved past countrywoman Poema Newland in the standings. But Nolo and Newland failed to complete the day's last race. After 3 days of strong racing, the anticipation ahead of the final day was high, and the top riders were ready to demonstrate their skills once again, with their eyes on the prize.
I'm really excited to go on the water today, just to fine-tune and set up a couple stuff I want to try, and let's see how it goes.
The final day proved that Axel Mazzella had already carved out an insurmountable lead with his clinical performances. He had fought off testing challenges from the rest of the competition and beaten his rivals, earning a share of the €25,000 prize and cementing his overall lead in the Tour, following his triumph at the second act last month in Tronsee, Austria.
This is the end of the 3rd stop here in Cagliari of the KiteFoil World Series. It was really tough competition. We got super nice wind every day, and I'm super happy about this win, and I can be more stoked about my results.
His compatriot de Ramcourt advanced 1 place in the standings on the final day, climbing to 2nd overall, finishing strongly at the expense of Britain's Bainbridge, who took the 3rd podium spot after dropping 1 place on the last day.
We had a really good week. We had 4 days of wind, sunshine and good weather. This regatta was really completed. We raced from 9 meters all the way up to the 21, so yeah, we had to face all the kind of conditions we could ever face, and I'm really happy about being here, what I did on the water, and it was great.
Obviously each event counts to an overall ranking, and that's kind of the big one that we're looking for. Still got 2 more events to go, so there's still quite a lot to play for, and I think there's 4 or 5 of us in the mix for the top 3. So yeah, I think I'm probably 4th at the moment, something around that, but I think the points are so close that it's anyone's game still.
With the women racing in one fleet with the men and competing for an equal share of the World Series Cagliari prize pot, the battles between the leaders were intense. The dominance of the French team was never in doubt, as they took all 3 podium steps. Lorient Nolo eventually got the better of her countrywoman and recently crowned Formula Kite European champion Poema Newland, with Jessie Campman making up the trio.
I feel super good. Like, to be first is always really good, I think, and I feel really ready for the World Championship. And yeah, it's just so nice to finish first.
There was also reason for the locals to feel even more proud, as 16-year-old Riccardo Pianosi finished 6th overall and first amongst the under-19 participants, showing that his future is bright.
I'm really happy for my results, 6th overall and first under 19, and now the race with the other guys is really difficult, hard level, and now I'm ready, stay focused for next week in the World Champion. It's a really good competition, and the other guys is really strong, and Axel is a machine. And the other guys too is Connor or Dennis. Too much fast, and I'm really happy for racing with us, and I'm ready for the World Champion next week.
The third act of the KiteFoil World Series left everyone with great memories, both from Cagliari and from the level of competition on show. It was the perfect way for athletes to conclude their preparation ahead of the IKA Formula Kite World Championship, whilst also setting the bar even higher ahead of the 2 remaining stops of the World Series in Spain, which will determine the overall winner.